Welcome in. I am Rick Godley alongside Micah Lindsay, and Micah with Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty, and a new concept. It is historical properties and historical real estate, if you will. And we just so happen to be sitting in one of the most historical property, not for sale.
No, this one's not for sale.
Not for sale, but it is the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society. And Micah approached me. He said, Rick, what about the possibility of talking about the museum, talking about historical sites in Lincoln Parish, in North Louisiana? Let's start it here, and then I'll bring some real estate options that have historical value for the market. And he said the purpose was to highlight the historic and significant properties here in North Louisiana, as well as provide a marketplace for homes of historical significance. And that way you bring the buyer and the seller together as we preserve the past in the present.
That's right. Yeah, I was excited when you had this opportunity to participate with museum, and then I've been with you a few times here, and it's just amazing the amount that, I guess, treasure trove of history, documents, photographs, furniture. It's just amazing, and I appreciate the opportunity to present this with you, Rick.
Oh yeah, no, what I like also is being in a historical setting, but also being in real estate at Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty. You're going to be highlighting, you've picked three, if you will, and they have, when I say historical significance, you've kind of like put a little bit of a timeline on it.
Yeah, I've started looking, it's in the 60s back, so, you know, I know MCM, I don't have one today, but we will eventually. Mid-century modern.
Oh, I thought that was a new rap realtor. I'm MCM.
MCM, Lindsay. No, you don't want to hear that. And so starting from the 60s, 50s, working our way back to as far as we want to go. So there'll be some just significant date-wise.
Okay.
Others, I've got one here that's may send us down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I think you'll find it interesting.
But it's a historical rabbit hole, and one of the things there, Micah, as you know, in this day and age where people are going to be watching this, we do not profess to know all the history, and we are open to being taught. And so when we drop some names, and we encourage you to send feedback.
Yeah, that's what I want, is the feedback, because I am no expert, I promise you. Google, you know, what started me down the rabbit hole. But yeah, provide the feedback. There may be somebody that has the answer. I may be tying two people together that should be one person, or vice versa. And so if somebody can bring that information to us, we'd love to have it, and it'll work well with the surroundings here, because there's some significant history that's included with this.
We'll get to that, but first let me also talk about where the status, because a lot of people are getting involved, they're taking notice of the Lincoln Parish Museum, the Kid Davis House, built in 1886, starting to get life again. Yeah. And so that's exactly what we're doing. I call it the Operation Reboot for the museum, to get us poised for the sesquicentennial of Lincoln Parish. I would like this historic property and space to be the hub and the epicenter for that. However, before we get to that, we're doing the reboot, a second renaissance, if you will, of clearing, cleaning, and then organizing, as well as adapting to 2022. So we're turning the page. It's a beautiful place and space to do that. And it's the optimum time to create a remarkable future, especially here, Micah, as you know, my generation and older, but there are generations behind me that are wondering what's in there, and they're finding out history that they never knew before.
Yeah, and
I'm finding it out.
Yeah, I know, and I like it. Every time I come, I find something different. I'm enjoying it. I'm a history buff. But to kind of play off what you're saying is, you're putting it out there, and the other day we had kind of an amazing situation where I was reaching out to a friend for a totally separate deal. I mentioned you, and he said, wait, you know Rick? I said, yeah. He said, I was just about to send Rick an email. And I said, well, hey, I'm headed that way. He said, what time, noon? Yeah, let's go. So I come and tell Rick, and Rick's like, well, what time's he, when can I call him to get it set up? Well, he'll be here at noon.
He'll be here at noon.
And so when you start putting this out there, I think people are going to respond. People will react because not only is it a beautiful facility, but it represents such a great parish. I've worked over here for 15 years, and it was like a second home to me. So I really want to see a revival here.
Well, what he's talking about, a volunteer corps that's going to come in and roll up their sleeves, put in some sweat equity. And I say that only to give thanks for those, because Mike, if people had not contributed and volunteered from 1974 on for the inception of the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society, this place would not be here. So it's just everybody carrying on doing whatever little part they can do to maintain the heritage and the history, the place and the space, so that we can create a remarkable future. Well,
I'm excited for you and excited for the opportunity here, and the community involvement, I believe, is just going to be intense.
Stick and stay. We will keep you updated along the way. Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty. Gonna pick the three homes that have piqued your interest, Michael Lindsay. First one, tell me about it. It is 104 Woodhaven Drive?
Yeah, 104 Woodhaven Drive. It's the newest of the three properties that we have, and it was built in 47, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And the home is, it is a real estate property, so it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath.
Right.
It's offered by Caldwell Banker, Group 1 Realty. John C. Stevenson is the listing agent on that, so you can reach out to John. 2,335 square feet. What I like about this property is the front porch. It's a farm-style home. It does have the amenities inside. Some has been updated. But the porch across the front, the dormer windows, you're going to be singing the Waltons theme when you go in to see this property. And so just a little bit from the description, it's described as a unique country home located right in town. There will be an allowance for buyers when they make a decision on this, but I'll let you cover that with John, so that whenever you get ready to take a look, it'll be a beautiful property. But it is close to town, so I believe it's right off North Trenton,
mm-hmm.
so easy access to city life, to the country, and you'll have some opportunity for peace and quiet right there on the front porch of your new home.
So number one from 1947, I would say could be pre-MCM.
It would be, yes.
Just a tad, but post-war. So this is up. John Chris Stevenson, 318-514-9970. Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty, Micah Lindsay. Home number 2, North Trenton Street. What are we looking at?
Yeah, this is interesting because it's a home that was built in 1930. I have a little insight on this one, because it was the home of a friend of mine. And so I was able to go, when you go online and take a look at this property, you only have the exterior photos, but I can vouch for the interior. I would call this, and what I like about it is it reminds me, I'm a huge fan of Arkansas state parks.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to the state parks and take a look at the cabins and lodges and things that are built there, typically they were started in the 30s under the CCC program.
Right.
Stone, wood, solid wood, just beautiful properties, and that's what this reminds me of. It's got the stone, it's got the wood, it's log, it has the deck on the front overlooking. So it is also a 3 bedroom, 3 bath. One thing that's a little different about this one, built in 1930, it's offered by Acres and Avenue Realty, John Malonson.
Jay Malonson.
Jay?
Jay it is. I know Jay, yes.
All right. 318-254-3250. But this one is a property that's prime location for commercial. So I'm going to give my opinion on that. The worry that I have is that it's such a beautiful rustic property, built in 1930, solid. The interior is, you look at the outside, see the log, inside's the same way. You have wood stairs, wood floors, just that beautiful craftsman style that hopefully, if it goes commercial, that someone will be able to find a use for the property. You do have over 2.5 acres, and it's zone CPP, Central Parkway Pines. And so you can go and look at restrictions online, what can be done, but to me, it's kind of iconic. I notice the property every time I drive up North Trenton going towards Vienna. Just beautiful spot, beautiful property. So I would love to see somebody take this property, maintain the integrity of the old 1930s structure.
Acres and Avenues Realty, Jay Melanson, give him a call, 318-254-3250. Taking 3 properties here, Michael Lindsay, Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty. MCM, mid-century modern, it seems like we're going backwards, but that's okay. I love it when a plan falls apart and we still keep it together.
Yeah, I probably led you down the wrong way, but this last property.
Tell us about it, man.
This is the one that got me messed up, Rick. I started looking at 407 East Arizona Avenue. This home was built in 1927, and it's in the Dabney subdivision. That's where I started down the rabbit hole. I said, okay, well, who is Dabney? If this home was built in 27, this would have to be one of the oldest subdivisions organized in the city. You know, would have to expect in the late 1800s, early 1900s. This home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And it's wood frame. It's a beautiful property. Again, another with a porch across the front. I like when you take a look at the picture, you'll see there's an odd symmetry on the dormer on top of the roof there that attract attention to me. It's just a little different setup. So anyway, when you notice the home, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about on that. Now, the rabbit hole is this, and I want that to tie back into...
Yeah, and engage people, because you don't know,
I
don't know, but somebody knows, so please share.
I'm going to give you some snippets, and like I said, I may be talking to about 2 different people, but this may be the same person that we're going about. So when I went to Google and I put in Dabney, Ruston subdivision, a home that came up is right here close to us on Bonner. It's 508 North Bonner, and it's the T.D. Meadows home, and it is still standing. It's a beautiful property. And so I started reading about that. According to Lincoln Parish Clerical Court records, Miss Slaughter bought the home May 28, 1894, bought the property. Bought the entire square from, let me give you the numbers, because this is how much in the town of Ruston, $100 cash plus $100 note bearing 8%. And then further records show that it was sold again and sold.
You're not
off
saying
parts.
That's what the offer is today for Lincoln
No,
Realty
that
and Bobby
wouldn't be.
Dyer,
And
right?
this house is not for sale. This is so. The thing that took me down the way here is that. Oh no, and I've lost my spot.
Dabney, keep on Dabney.
Yep. And so the name F.Y. Dabney kept coming up because that was on the original deed, okay? And so I searched some more for the name F.Y. Dabney. And so I found an old article from 1933, which was referencing an even older article, and this article was in the Shreveport Times.
Okay.
And so I'm going to read this because it talks about Ruston. This is from 1933, but it's referencing an older article. Ruston, the home of the Louisiana Chautauqua, an educational center, a thoroughly refined and highly intelligent Christian community, a busy, bustling, progressive commercial center with all the attributes of the advanced civilizations of the closing years of the 19th century. In commenting upon the building of the town, the article points out that the town site of Ruston was located and surveyed by F.P. Stubbs and F.Y. Dabney for the railroad company, Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific Railway Company, and by R.E. Russ, owner of the most land on which the town was afterwards built, and therefore Russtown. So there were other documents that I found, and there was a deed from an early family, Dr. and Mrs. Marvin T. Green family papers, and in there it was a deed from F.Y. Dabney and Frank P. Stubbs to R.E. Russ, February 24th, 1893. So another one, this is actually out of the Monroe paper, and again, all Dabney. This could be separate people, but it all appears to tie together. And they talk about a visit of Captain F.Y. Dabney, lately and the last superintendent of the V.S.P. Railroad, as a separate road, came over Sunday from his home in Crystal Springs, Mississippi on business to see his numerous old friends as well as all who greeted him most cordially. The captain will remain for a few days visiting Ruston and Arcadia in the meantime. And so that you can feel good about the history of Dabney, if that is where this was laid, and please provide the feedback on that. This is actually from his death in Mississippi.
The obituary?
The obituary.
Okay.
Captain F.Y. Dabney was one of the most prominent citizens of Copiah County, a man of lofty character and varied attainments. Captain Dabney was Judge Augustine Dabney's son, and it went on to say that Captain Dabney was a civil engineer by profession and was engaged most of his life in railroad work. So, anyway, we have this neighborhood covering a good portion of north downtown Ruston, named for Dabney. Now, I did find some other Dabneys in the area, but I did not see any that were included in any deeds for the property.
To bring it full circle, 407 East Arizona is in the, quote, Dabney subdivision. You want to see it? It's Lincoln Realtor, Bobby Dyer. Her number, 318-245-3178. You're shedding a lot of light, and for me personally, Michael Lindsay, I'm Rick Godley, we're in the Kid Davis House, the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society. We all know names, but there's always a name behind a name that if it weren't for that person, maybe that person wouldn't happen. And so what I'm saying is that everybody knows Robert E. Russ, but there's a gentleman by the name of Wooten Richardson that I'm intrigued with in a Dabney kind of a way.
Okay.
And by you saying what you're saying, it's like Wooten Richardson bought this land initially. Robert Russ bought land from Wooten Richardson because Robert Russ knew something about the railroad coming. High probability, just guessing, don't know, but Dabney knew it was coming this way.
That's right.
So if it wasn't for all of those loose dots, you know, we possibly wouldn't be sitting here. But it's intriguing, but somebody knows, please share what you know. This is kind of fun. And one quick thing too, Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific Railroad, the VSP, you know what it was also known as?
No.
Very slow and pokey.
Well, I'm sure it was back then because I've read a book one time about it was from the early 1900s about the fastest things on earth, and the train, even though it was very slow and pokey, was the fastest thing on earth at the time.
Sure enough. All right, so as we close out this inaugural initial, if you will, Historical Properties of North Louisiana, brought to you by Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty. Michael Lindsay, tell us about yourself and your involvement in this.
Well, I've always loved historic properties. I am in real estate, and so I want to try to find a way to tie the two together. One thing that I noticed when I'm looking at the typical, I say historic property, unless it's something really significant, but I would like to see more description. I like to see more history. I like for somebody that's going to buy that home, most of the time it's not about price. It's going to be about the wood floors, pulling back carpet and finding the original wood floors, pulling back a drop ceiling and seeing beadboard in the ceiling. That type of person is who I like to work with. And I want to be able, if I work with you on listing an historic property, then I want to be able to dig in, find the history, go to the old records, and provide the new owner with everything that we can so that they'll understand the significance.
Awesome. For more information, email the gentleman right here, Micah Lindsay at iCloud.com. Micah Lindsay at iCloud.com. I'm Rick Godley, Better Homes and Garden Real Estate, Veranda Realty. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, or he'll pick 3 more for the next episode.
Excellent.